What's going on, America? And welcome to a special, basically 4-part edition of Dear America Uncensored. It is a little different this time. We apologize for the late episodes coming in, but you're basically going to get almost 4 episodes back to back to back at this point, or to back to back to back to back. There it is. And it's me. You get me, myself, and I here because, as most of you know, we were traveling to Florida for the SAS Turning Point USA Student Action Summit event in West Palm Beach, Florida. So not this episode, but next episode, a lot of people wanted to hear my speech from that. Thank you, everyone, for all the kind words of the speech. I guess a lot of people liked it. So next episode, you're going to get to hear that speech live. But this episode, we're going to get intimate for a moment because it's just me. And I'm going to talk to you as a real American. And we are going to talk about the biggest disgrace, the biggest slap in the face to the American people that I have seen in a long time. Forget the election interference. No, this is blatant and total. Well, I wrote it down here on this sheet of paper. They think we are stupid. And Mr. President, I beg you, Mr. President, to veto this bill. I beg you, Mr. President, to not sign this bill. Ladies and gentlemen, it was announced over the past 2 days that the House and the Senate had finally come to terms over a COVID-19 relief stimulus package. Okay? So on the very premise of that word, COVID-19 relief stimulus package, you would imagine that in the bill or in the package or however you want to say it, that there would actually be relief for the American people. But that's not what this bill contains. No, in fact, this bill pretty much says exactly what the government thinks you're worth. And that is up to, so not even guaranteed, up to $600, up to $1,200 for couples. Couples with kids, mind you, up to a certain degree of income that you used to make, I guess. It has a $75,000 cap, I think, for singles, and then a $120,000 cap for couples with families. I don't know if that's based off of what you actually made this year or what you previously made, because the only way they're able to track this is through the IRS, right? What you have filed in the past from the IRS. So that's not what you actually make this year. So if you made $120,000 as a whole household last year that you filed your taxes on, they're going to pay you based off of that, off this stimulus check. So what if you only made half of that this year because you're out of work or your business is shut down? Thanks for my, if I'm married with kids and I pulled $120,000, you're going to give me $800? $800 to live and survive as a couple. Let's say you're single and you made $75,000 last year, but this year you only made $30,000. Too bad. You get paid your stimulus check off of last year's IRS tax return. You're going to make $275. Congratulations. I hope that eases the pain of not being able to go to work. I hope that eases the pain that your credit score is in the complete and total gutter. I hope that $275 makes it easy for you to live and survive, and the sting of the COVID-19 pandemic is a little less because the government just gave you $275 because last year you made $75,000. What is the American people worth to the government? We've always had this discussion. We've always wondered. But now the government, straight in our face, has made it very apparent that you're worth about $600. But that's not the worst part. It's not the worst part. A little simple math here, if I may do so really quick, and we got to get into our first sponsor in a minute. Let's just do $600 times 360 million. Yeah. $216 billion, something like that. Something super easy. It's not even computable on my little calculator here. Hang on. Let me do that. Let me do it this way. 200 times 360 million. I don't know. The math is not even halfway there. Hang on. I got it. All right. Had to figure it out. 600 times 330 million is $198 billion. This coronavirus stimulus package is $900 billion. Where's the rest of the money? Where does it go? It doesn't go to the American people. Where is it? Where does it go? What happened to it? Don't worry, we're going to break it down. I'm going to explain to you exactly where your taxpayer money is going. All right? Don't get it twisted. This isn't free money. Your taxpayer dollars are going to this, and our children's children are going to be paying the price for this. So what are they paying the price for? Don't worry. I'm going to talk to you about it. But first, we got to get into a sponsor. This week, we are waking up to a nightmare scenario. The left is on the brink of controlling the future of this country, funded by corporations like Verizon, who took your hard-earned money and used it to put radicals in power. This is why it is so important that we stick together and support companies who share our values. I am proud to partner with Patriot Mobile because they never sent a penny to the left, Planned Parenthood, or those who seek to shred our Constitution. You can switch with confidence because they use the same network as the larger providers for much less, and switching is easy. Keep your phone number, bring your own phone, or buy a new one. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Graham or call their U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Veterans and first responders save even more, so please make the switch today. The same service, a lower price, and the values you believe in. Get free activation and a special gift with the offer code GRAHAM. Go to patriotmobile.com/Graham, patriotmobile.com/Graham, or 972-PATRIOT. All right. So, okay. It's important to realize that money doesn't just grow out of trees. Okay? It really doesn't. I mean, you may be able to print money off of paper that you get from trees, but the reality is that when people say that they're going to give you this stimulus relief budget, these stimulus packages, all this, it's really just a line of credit, really, is what it is. And it's adding credit with interest at the end of it. It's adding to the national debt. It's adding to everything that your taxes actually are going to have to pay for. So it's kind of ironic, and you'll hear it tomorrow episode with my speech at West Palm Beach. I actually say in the speech, why are we letting these leaders that have never had to miss a payment ever, that are millionaires, dictate how we can go to work, when we can go to work, how we can afford to pay our bills, and then when tax season gets here, they've got their hand out wanting to know where their money is? Well, this is how they do it. All right, so first of all, I want to say that whenever AOC makes a tweet that makes sense, you got to know that something bad is wrong, okay? This is twice now that AOC, in a matter of a month, has tweeted something that I actually agree with. All right, so here you go. Congress, this is AOC talking in a tweet, Congress is expected to vote on the second largest bill in U.S. history today. A $2.5 trillion bill, and as of about 1 p.m., members don't even have the legislative text of it yet. It's not good enough to hear about what's in the bill. Members of Congress need to see and read the bills we are expected to vote on. Wow. That actually made sense, right? That actually made sense. Now, I know a lot of you are saying $2.5 trillion. Where is she getting that? I thought this was a $900 is pretty close to what they're actually giving you, but it's actually supposed to be a $900 billion coronavirus or COVID-19 stimulus package. So where is the $2.5 trillion coming from? Well, I'll tell you. All right, this is what the mainstream media doesn't like to tell you about. It's not $900 billion that they're voting on. It's actually $2.3 trillion. All right, so the $900 billion COVID-19 relief stimulus package was expected to be merged with a sweeping, are you ready for this? Catch-all spending measure that would keep the government funded for the remainder of the fiscal year, creating a $2.3 trillion behemoth to pass in Congress. $2.3 trillion more dollars. What is the national debt right now? Let me look it up. National U.S. debt 2020. It's around $27 trillion. So why don't we just go ahead and make it a smooth $30 trillion? Why not? Why not? We're not going to live to see that. Our kids are going to be paying this stuff. And for what? For what, mind you? But let's go back to AOC's tweet. Now, why would she say this about it? Well, because the bill is 5,593 pages. 5,593 pages. Ladies and gentlemen, they're supposed to vote on a bill the same day that they're going to get the text. And AOC tweets out that as of 1 o'clock that day, they had still not even received the 5,593 page document to vote on. Can you read 5,593 pages in about 3 hours? I can barely read a chapter in about 3 hours because I get distracted. Most people can't read a 250-page book in one day. 5,593 pages. Are you kidding me? First of all, my biggest question, and I don't have anybody here in the studio to banter back and forth today, but I put it to you. As you're driving down the road listening to this, why in the world is this thing 5,593 pages long? What in God's name has to be written to where it's 5,593 pages long? What is so meticulously complicated about a spending bill that is a catch-all, as they call it? That's a dangerous word, a catch-all. You know what that stands for? That stands for shut up, puppet, pay your taxes, and don't worry what we're spending the money on. That's what catch-all means. Stands for dance, puppet. Dance, puppet, dance. Dance, puppet, dance. They think you're stupid. And they think we're stupid. And they think that we're not going to ask questions. But it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. It gets worse because not only did they roll this into a catch-all spending budget, making it not $900 billion, but $2.3 trillion. What's worse is where your taxpayer money is going while you're struggling and you can't go to work. I said this in my speech yesterday, and I won't give it too much attention, but parents are trying to struggle to figure out how to tell their kids that Santa might not be coming this year because they can't go to work. They can't pay their bills. They can't buy presents. But don't worry and rest assured the government's here to help. They're going to give you up to $600 about 2 to 3 weeks after Christmas. And the rest of your taxpayer money is not even going to America. Can you believe that? A COVID-19 relief stimulus package is not meant to protect and help Americans, but other countries. Think about that for 1 second. Out of a $2.3 trillion catch-all budget plan, where $900 billion of that money is supposed to go for COVID-19 stimulus package relief, only $198 billion, which equates to $600 a person, is actually going to the American people. Now, here's the biggest thing that I want to talk to you. And before we break down this budget, because you need to hear this, because the mainstream media won't talk about it. They won't talk about it. In fact, while AOC is saying that this is dangerous, rest assured your president-elect Joe Biden tweets this: I applaud this relief package, but our work is far from over. Starting in the new year, Congress will need to immediately get to work on support for our COVID-19 plan. Did you read the interpretation of that? You know what that means? Read this again. Read this again. All right. Now, I just told you that no money is free. Your taxes are actually going to pay for this. Listen to what Joe Biden actually says. I applaud this relief package. Of course you do, because the money's going to other countries, and we're going to get to that in a minute. You traitorous prick. Joe Biden. But our work is far from over. Starting in the new year, Congress will need to immediately get to work on support for our COVID-19 plan. He's talking about your taxes, people. America, one more time, let me read this for you because you need to hear what I'm saying here. Read between the lines of the words that they speak. I applaud this relief package, but our work is far from over. Starting in the new year, Congress will need to immediately, not eventually, immediately get to work on support for our COVID-19 plan. He's talking about your taxes. Now, the left and the far left will say, no, he's talking about getting COVID-19 under control. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's talking about your taxes. He's talking about hiking up your taxes to make you pay for this stimulus relief bill that is actually going to other countries. They think you're stupid. They think you are stupid. Let's talk about what's actually in this relief bill. But before we do, let's get into a sponsor. Everyone wants to keep their home and family safe. Whether it's from a break-in, a fire, flooding, or a medical emergency, Simply Safe Home Security delivers award-winning 24/7 protection. With Simply Safe, you don't just get an arsenal of cameras and sensors, you get the best professional monitors in the business. They've got your back day and night, ready to send police, fire, or EMTs when you need the most straight to your door. I love Simply Safe, man. We have total home protection, everything about it. Even when our like smoke alarm goes off or the kids mess with it, like we know about it. It's really cool. Simply Safe has an arsenal of sensors and cameras that protect every inch of your home. You can set it up yourself in about 30 minutes. It's super easy. Then Simply Safe professionals take over, monitoring your home 24/7 and ready to send help the moment there's an alarm. Right now, my listeners get a free home security camera when you purchase a Simply Safe system at simplysafe.com/dearamerica. You also get a 60-day risk-free trial, so there's nothing to lose. Visit simplysafe.com/dearamerica for your free security camera today. That's simplysafe.com/dearamerica. All right. So we have talked about the fact that we are literally living in the upside down. Hello, Stranger Things fans. AOC is making sense. President-elect Joe Biden, Beijing Biden, is loving this bill that got passed because it goes where he actually wants it to go. So let's talk about some of this stuff. All right. So one thing. So this is interesting for the working man and woman that can't go to work. So this is research done by Breitbart. So here we go. I'm going to read it verbatim here. All right. A provision slipped into the more than 5,593-page spending bill allows the Department of Homeland Security and Labor Department to import more foreign labor competition against Americans at their discretion. Wow. Specifically, the bill gives DHS the ability to increase the total number of H-2B foreign visa workers who can be brought into the U.S. to take blue-collar, non-agricultural jobs that would otherwise go to working-class Americans. DHS secretaries over the last 4 years have repeatedly allowed businesses to import more H-2B foreign visa workers above the annual cap of 66,000. Continuation of the policy would come to 24.5 million Americans are unemployed or underemployed. About 17.8 million of those are jobless. So in this 5,593-page provision that is supposed to be a COVID-19 relief stimulus package, slipped in there is a provision that while you're out of work, you can't go to work, you don't have a job, Department of Homeland Security and the Labor Department can bring in immigrants to come and take your job away at their discretion. Don't worry, it's at their discretion. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. That doesn't mean that it will happen. Wink, wink, That just means it's at their discretion, right? Because they have your best interest in mind. Because it's the government. The government's here to help you. Remember? Don't question things, puppet. The government loves you. Again, I have on my little notepad here. They think you're stupid. As this big, gigantic truck is going by, as I'm trying to record, real life, people. They think you're stupid. Mr. President, you have to veto this bill. But let's talk about what's actually in the bill, shall we? This is the worst part. It's the absolute worst part. I'm going to go through line for line some of the provisions that are in this bill. First of all, part of the bill funds a gender program study in Pakistan. Your taxpayer dollars. It's almost comical at this point. It really is. Your taxpayer dollars are going to a genders program study in Pakistan. Millions of Americans are out of work. Thousands of small businesses have shut their doors forever. And your taxpayer dollars that your kids are going to have to pay for this relief package and spending package, even $1 of it going to a genders program in Pakistan is a complete and total slap in the face to Americans. What in the teetotal crap do we have any business of putting taxpayer-funded dollars in the hands of Pakistan for anything, much less a gender program study? Are you freaking kidding? All right, we're not done. Hold on. I'm just going to read down the line. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. It's just read down the line. $2.3 trillion we're going to add to the national debt. 5,593-page budget-busting bill. They posted it online yesterday afternoon, so don't worry. You can go read this for yourself. All right? Don't take my word for it. Go read it for yourself. For some countries, not Americans, mind you, but other countries. So an American spending budget, $900 billion of it is supposed to contain COVID-19 relief for Americans. It's going to other countries. Let's read some of this stuff. $169,739,000 to Vietnam, including $19 million to remediate dioxins. This is on page 1,476. Why are we giving Vietnam $169 million? What? Why? What are we doing that for? That's on page 1,476. All right, on page 1,477, the very next page, this is the good part. Unspecified funds. So I'm not even going to tell you how much it is. Unspecified funds to continue support for not-for-profit institutions of higher education in Kabul, Afghanistan, that are accessible to both women and men in a co-educational environment. Oh, that's nice. Who? This is a COVID-19 American stimulus package deal. And on page 1,477, it literally says an unspecified amount of funds. We're not even going to tell you, puppet, sheep, people that are never going to question us. We're not even going to tell you how much money it is. Unspecified funds to continue support for not-for-profit institution of higher education in Kabul, Afghanistan, or Kabul, whatever. Afghanistan. That's not America. Let's go to page 1,485, shall we? $189,323,000 to Bangladesh, including $23.5 million to support Burmese refugees and $23.3 million for democracy programs. Wow. What are we? How is this even in the American spending budget in the first place? Ladies and gentlemen, these are your tax dollars. These are not just dollars that the government's just going to give and it doesn't affect you in any way. Are you happy that your tax dollars are paying for an unspecified amount of funds to continue support for higher education in Afghanistan? Does that make you feel warm and toasty inside, as the Grinch would say? I don't like it. Don't worry. Also on page 1,485, $130,265,000 to Nepal for development and democracy programs. Wow. But don't worry, we're not even halfway through this list. This is where your taxpayer dollars are going. You won't believe where the rest of it's going right after this sponsor. People wonder why America was hit so hard by the pandemic, and the answer is simple. We're out of shape, eat garbage, and stare at our cell phones all day. What did you expect? In the very least, you have eaten well, but it isn't always easy. That's why I recommend you take Field of Greens every day. Field of Greens is packed with 18 clinically researched essential fruits and vegetables, plus green tea, ginger, and beets. It's like having a bunch of fresh fruits and vegetables in a jar. Field of Greens can support heart health, a healthy immune system, metabolism, blood pressure, and digestion, plus it's pre- and probiotic. Field of Greens is good for everyone, young, old, and even the athletes. Just put 1 scoop in a glass of water, stir, and you're done. Drink it while you're making your coffee. It takes 2 seconds, and you will feel the difference. Go to brickhousegraham.com. Fans of this show save 15% with the promo code GRAHAM. Also available in wild berry. Just scroll to the bottom of the page. That's brickhousegraham.com. brickhousegraham.com, promo code Graham. All right, we're going to jump right back into it. Okay, this is on page 1,486. Pakistan. Here's what we were just talking about. $15 million for democracy programs and $10 million for gender programs. Pakistan. Page 1,486 of the 5,593 page spending bill equaling $2.3 trillion that will get added to the national debt. Your taxpayer dollars, while millions of Americans are out of business, thousands of small businesses have shut their doors, and the American people get up to $600 of a stimulus package to help revigorate the American economy. The last stimulus you got was in April. And now we're finding out in this document on page 1,486. Go online, look at it for yourself. 1,486. Pakistan gets $15 million for democracy programs and $10 million for gender programs. What in the world? Does any American give a crap about Pakistan running gender programs? Millions of Americans are out of work because the government tells you we can't go to work. You can't open your business. Thousands of small businesses are closing because the government says you can't go. But now in this spending budget of $2.3 trillion, $900 billion of it was supposed to go to Americans for COVID-19 relief. Your taxpayer dollars that you're going to have to pay is going to gender programs in Pakistan. That's on page 1,486. Merry Christmas, America. You're paying for gender program studies in Pakistan. Meanwhile, you can't buy presents for your kids to put under the tree, and Santa may not come this year. Merry Christmas. Don't worry. Sri Lanka. Up to $15 million for the refurbishing of a high-endurance cutter. What? Which is a type of patrol boat? Page 1,489. $505,925,000 to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama to address key factors that contribute to the migration of unaccompanied, undocumented minors to the United States, pages 1,490 to 1,491. Interesting. Let's see here. $461,375,000 to Colombia for programs related to counter narcotics and human rights, pages 1,494 to 1,496. Now, I'm all about counter narcotics and human rights, but right now, if this bill is supposed to be voted on to help the American people, how does sending $461 million to Colombia help the American people? $505 million to multiple countries to help with unaccompanied and undocumented minors? $74.8 million to the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, page 1,498. $33 million for democracy programs to Venezuela, page 1,498. Oh, here we go. Another great one. Unspecified amount of money to Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Caraco, and Trinidad for assistance for communities in countries supporting or otherwise impacted by refugees from Venezuela. Page 1,499. Who knows how much money that's getting? So we're giving $33 million for democracy programs to Venezuela on page 1,498. Then on the very next page, 1,499, an unspecified amount to other countries for assistance for communities in countries supporting or otherwise impacted by refugees from Venezuela. What? Are you... $132 million for assistance for Georgia, page 1,499. And then on page 1,500, interesting. Wasn't there this huge scandal about Hunter Biden and Ukraine? Wasn't that like a big deal? Wasn't there like a whole laptop that the New York Post suppressed about Hunter Biden being connected to Ukraine and taking money from Ukraine? On page 1,500, $453 million for assistance to Ukraine. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? This is the America COVID-19 relief package. This is the money that is allocated, and this is just the start. It's a 5,593 page document. We don't have enough time in this episode to break down the rest of it. This was 24 hours of research, really quick, trying to figure this out. Americans are getting $600, not even guaranteed $600. Some of you get $352, some of you get $198. Couples can get up to $1,200. Some of you get $900. Some of you get $875. But all of this money is going elsewhere. Why? Why? Where is this money? Why is this money going to other countries? Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. But I am an American. At this point, I'm done. At this point, Congress passed this. The Senate passed this. As far as I'm concerned, and I've got friends in the Congress and the Senate, but if they passed this, if they voted to pass it, every single person that voted to pass this bill should be removed from office from their toenails as far as I'm concerned. Every single one of them that voted for it needs to be removed. $600 to the American people, and we're sending Pakistan money, millions of dollars, for gender programs. We're spending, the taxpayers are paying for unspecified funds to continue support for higher education in Afghanistan. Friggin' $453 million for assistance for Ukraine. $505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama to address key factors that contribute to the migration of unaccompanied, undocumented minors. And my favorite is Sri Lanka, up to $15 million for the refurbishing of a high-endurance cutter. Dance, puppet, dance. It's exactly what the government is doing. It's exactly what they're saying, and they're saying it right to your faces. AOC is too stupid to realize that she's actually calling out the hypocrisy of her own party, of the government. And Republicans are just as to blame for this. Any Republican that voted to pass this bill, you need to be challenged and you need to be removed from office. Either voted out or recalled. I don't care. Mr. President, you cannot pass this bill. You cannot. Americans would rather, as a whole, you can keep your $600. You can keep your $600. We're not paying taxes for relief stimulus bills to other countries, when all that money can be added up to multiple billions of dollars to go to the American people. And then that's still, they're probably going to try to say, oh, well, that's all part of the other catch-all budget for the $2.3 trillion. But even at $600 times $360 million, there's still a lot of billions of dollars left over from the $900 billion that was supposed to be going to Americans for COVID-19 relief packages. Where's the money? Where's it going? The government thinks you're stupid. And it's time that us as Americans stand up to it and say no. I'm not paying taxes on this crap. I'm telling you that right now. Come get it. Come and get it. I'm not paying it. I didn't approve this. I didn't say that I was willing to pay taxes for these other countries. Screw you. That's exactly what every American needs to say to the government right now. Screw you. We're not doing it. Make us pay for gender programs in freaking Pakistan. Make us pay for higher educated, gender neutral, higher education learning in Afghanistan. Make us pay for $453 million to Ukraine. Make us. Because we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. Mr. President, you cannot sign this bill because the American people deserve better. Americans, we deserve better than what is representing us in Congress right now. We deserve better than unspecified funds going to certain areas in other countries, not even in our own country. The government thinks we're stupid, and it's time we stop letting them get away with it. I hope you enjoyed this episode, this special episode of the Dear America podcast. I know it's a bit different. I know it was a little more intimate than normal, but we've got some amazing content coming your way over the next couple of days. We are backed up a little bit, but next 4 days, pretty much, all the way to Christmas, we are going to have episodes for you. Thank you so much for listening. Tell one person about the Dear America podcast. Give us 5 stars. Help us in the polls. And as always, I'll always be here telling you the truth that the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. So we'll see you again next time.